Welcome, Retro Warriors. Your humble host, Geek is here with a TRS-80 Model 100. This is a computer that I've wanted for a very long time. It wasn't the first laptop, but it was one of the earliest commercially successful laptops. It was adopted quite a bit by roving reporters back in the day, because it has a built-in 300 baud modem, and of course they could type everything they were doing down, take their report down, and then find a phone and upload that back home, right? So it did very well. This is really just a rebranded Kyocera, for what I understand. Radio Shack, Tandy put their brand on it. Made some modifications, of course, to make it unique. But the form factor is just fantastic. Maxes out at 32K. It's got eight lines of text by 40 columns, and this is just really cool, because I learned business programming back in the 80s on a TRS-80 Model 3 and Model 4. I know this isn't necessarily related to those, but still, it's pretty cool, right, to have a TRS-80 computer finally for a decent price. It's in completely perfect working order, except for one thing. I said I was going to explain what this is. This is nothing more than a flash drive. It's really cool. Big shout out to Jeff Burt and his crew who creates these things. But it's emulating a Tandy 3.5-inch portable disk drive. So, without this plugged into the RS-232 port back here, everything's in RAM. Now you've got 4 AA batteries powering this, and then a backup battery in there. So if you're swapping out the batteries, the little backup batteries in there will keep things loaded in RAM. And but of course, you're playing with fire. So I took the monitor, not the monitor. I took the sport timer program I was writing, and I actually managed to get it on here, but I can't get it back off successfully. And the reason is because this is an earlier model, or I should say an earlier serial number of the Model 100. And Radio Shack found a problem with the resistors. There's 3 resistors in here that talk to this, not this device, but talk to the COM port here, the RS-232. You can see I'm on disk right now. It sees the disk. I'm able to tell COM. I can talk to it. The battery's fine. I've even got a file. This one here's the one I created and moved over. It's great. But if I leave it, let's go back to RAM and then go back to disk. That happens. Drive not ready. Okay, 4 screws, and it's easy to open up. Where we're headed here is this NiCad battery. This is, 40 years old, somewhere around there. And these are prone to leaking. This one still works, but we're pushing our luck, right? So we're going to replace that with the nickel, I think it's nickel metal hydride battery, I forget it, but the modern battery. And so we're going to sort of take this one out, unsolder it, solder the new one in. And there's 3 resistors. I forget the numbers. I'm going to have to look those up in a minute, but they're right up in here next to this RS-232 port. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take 3 out, and I've got a new kit. So our new resistors, and we'll put those in. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this apart, or not pull apart, but disconnect this, disconnect these guys, keyboard on this side, and I'll be able to take this board out. All right, so there are several screws holding the board down, and there's also this guy here on P. There's a little pin right there that he connects to, and the battery piece you can leave connected and just pull out the side. The little tricky part is these battery terminals. You gotta lift these out, a little jeweler screwdriver, carefully so you don't break them, right, because they're in the board. But once you do that, then this will lift out just nice, and you've got access to the underside. All right, so in 1983, Tandy realized the mistake they made with the resistors. They released a technical bulletin in 1983. It shows you which resistors need to be replaced. It's R91, 94, 99. And I've marked those with red marker. You can see it's that one right there. And then these 2. And then I did the same thing on the opposite side. I just marked the pins, see they're red, so that I can easily identify them. So we're going to replace those with 330 ohm resistors so that fixes the problem. So let's begin that painstaking process. Well, for those of you that have seen my soldering work before, you know it's completely atrocious. But you know what? The more I do it, the better I get. That's actually pretty decent. I got to clip those wires, obviously. But let's flip this over carefully. Okay. The blue ones there, those are the new ones. Those are 330 ohms, which are the correct which is the correct resistance needed for those 3 spots. I noticed that these are ever so slightly smaller than the old ones. I'm going to mark that up to technology because these are quarter width. I guess that's what the W stands for, quarter watt. I don't think it's watt. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not an electronics expert. If you tell me what to fix, I can fix it. I got the tools and I got just enough chimpanzee intelligence to figure out how to get the component out and put it back in. But yeah, so that's done. I'm going to clip those wires and test it out. All right, as you can see, sorry about that glare on that light right there. We have power. I didn't fry it. That's good. Okay, so far so good. You can see I've got to bootstrap TS-DOS back on the scene, but I'm actually talking to the drive. That part still works. I can do a LS, and I can see the folders that are on that flash drive. And there's my Quick Mock DO. It's actually a basic, but I was trying to download it, and they don't do the CLI here. It only does DOs. Anyway, long story short, but that's the timer program I was telling you about. So yes, that's really good. I can still talk to this. I can still look at it. The COM port still works. I didn't fry the machine. I haven't screwed the case back together yet. So I'm going to go and put it back together, and then I'm going to load TS-DOS back on there and see what we get. Okay, TS-DOS, however you want to say it, is loaded. So we have the moment of truth here. Right now I'm in RAM. Let's switch over to disk. We are now in disk. You can see it right there under 3. Let's go back to RAM and go back to disk. Yes! All right. Let's load. I've already got that. Hold on. We're going to, I don't want to kill it. That's for sure. Let's go back to RAM real quick because I need to. Okay, I don't have it there. That's fine. Okay, so let's go back to the disk. We'll go ahead and load it. It doesn't have the right extension on it, but we're going to load. Hit enter. And let's go back to RAM. And now that file that's highlighted, this one right here, should be in RAM. And it is. Yes, it's working. Success. Thanks, Jeff, Burt, and the whole community.
Är det någon som sett min tvål? Skål!